Cliff, where do you want to start this morning?
Well, you know what? That Prescott conversation is pretty cool because he stays in there for me the rest of the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really like Tony Romo. I just don't think that when you talk about chemistry, don't disrupt that, Dan. Especially when you're trying to win the Super Bowl. But that's just my thoughts.
Did you ever have a situation where maybe a veteran got hurt, young guy came in, and then the veteran comes back, and then the locker room is split on should that guy play again?
Yeah, you know the funny thing is the old school Wally Pipp story. You know, and a veteran gets hurt, and then this youngster comes up, and he's like a stud, and everybody's joking, you got Wally Pipp, and it's around the locker room, but it's all fun and games. It's like, the veterans coming back, you held down the fort, that's why you have, the 25-man roster or whatever, or the minor league system is full of guys that's waiting for a chance or unfortunate situation for somebody to get hurt. So, yeah, you have that, but it's just, when it's a little bit different. I think in baseball, you have 162 games. So you're going to need these youngsters. And football is totally different. It's shortened. 16 weeks is like, wait, hold up. This is feeling good and looking good, but we'll see what happens.
Also, the second time around, we see a lot of pitchers who are great that first time through, and then they face a team the next time around, and then that's when you got to adapt. I don't know if that's going to happen to Dak Prescott, but is there any similarity between a quarterback and a starting pitcher?
I do. I think, especially, this time of year, so much is dialed into, what he does well and what he don't do well, right? And once you dial into, all right, this guy is really good. Yeah, you start putting them on the board a little bit differently and putting up more information. So the second time through a lineup for pitchers, as good as just throw out Madison Bumgarner. He's probably unfair to throw out, but, maybe a guy like Marco Estrada, where you're going, all right, we know he has a changeup. We know he has this pitch, but second time through, is he going to get cute and try to now throw his changeup a little bit more because that's his out pitch, or is he going to stick with his fastball? Has been successful. Once you have these certain things that come up, it's more magnified right now. And as players, you're always trying to figure out just all I need is a little crack in the door so I can bust it down. Or, let's see how much pressure we can put on him to make him make that mistake. If you allow him to continue to be great, guess what? He's going to be the MVP of that series, or he's going to be a guy we have conversations about, should you start, Tony Romo, or do you still go with the stud that's been playing right now?
He's Cliff Floyd. Major League Baseball Network will exclusively air Game 3 between the Nationals and Dodgers today. You can watch Cliff on MLB Tonight throughout the postseason. You have these pitchers. We had the conversation when Bumgarner threw the great game in the wild card. Certain guys get up for. It's not like he's been a substandard or an average pitcher during the regular season, but to elevate. What is it that you see, or what is different that certain pitchers are able to elevate and certain ones can't?
Well, they use your aggressiveness against you, and that's what he does. Now, to your point, real quick, and I don't want to take up a lot of time, but I think you make a great point. He's different now through this postseason this year, right? And I had numbers. I never talk about numbers, but this was interesting because I kept saying, all these bullpens are coming in the game in the fifth inning.
Mm-hmm.
And before last night's game, 9 of 20 pitchers then failed to complete 5 innings this postseason. 12 of 20 starting pitchers have thrown 5 or fewer innings. Now, when you talk about the postseason, you're talking about the elite of the elite, right? This is not the 3, 4, 5 guys of your rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you throw Mad Bum in there, of course he's number one on the list of going 9 innings because he went there in the wild card game. But then you start looking at names that haven't completed 5. And you talk, Darvish, Happ, Kershaw, Bauer, Rich Hill, Porcello, Tennerard. I mean, all these names you go in there, you're going, wow, this is crazy. But you're talking about guys that's from an offensive side is paying a ton of attention to what these guys do well and what we can't do. The one thing Madison Bumgarner does is he has a game plan and he sticks to it. You heard him talk about it. I threw fastballs for an inning or almost 2 innings, and then I went to my off-speed stuff. I started thinking about who in my mind, when I face a guy like him with the mindset, was that intelligent enough to understand that you have to stick to the game plan, and it was Greg Maddux on the right side. And when I thought about Greg Maddux, I thought, man, this dude never pitched me the same no matter what. I was a National Leaguer for life. But he uses all the things that you're going to think he's going to do, and he flips it on you. So that's what, in my opinion, makes Matt Bum that good.
You played for 1 year with the Cubs, right? 07?
Yeah.
What what is that feeling like when you go to the ballpark and the fans almost feel like it's a impending doom there? Or did you sense that? And you finished first that year, right?
Yeah. We finished first. Lost 3 games straight to a young D-backs team. Right, Dan? And you could hear a pin drop in that place when we lost at home. Went to Arizona, lost 2, came home, lost 3rd one. It's a wrap, go home. Sort of what the Texas Rangers did.
Yeah.
Felt that bad. You could see, the faces. I felt Jonathan Lucor's face or feelings, last night when you heard him talking about, after the game. Jeff Bannister pretty much has the same face all the time, which I love. But you could feel how disappointed. And I didn't envision that. I really didn't. I thought the Rangers was going further than this. I thought, Toronto limped into the postseason. Even though they got there, I didn't say they backed their win, but they limped in. They weren't playing great baseball. But in Chicago, it's almost like everything, they hung their hat on every situation. I mean, when a ball fell in, there was just a regular base hit. It was like, oh, you should have dove for that, right? And I'm like, well, that was just a regular base hit because that's part of the game. So, I think you have to understand, as a player, you have to sort of put blinders on. You have to put earplugs in, and you have to play. And, the first game of that series, every Chicago Cubs fan was at that game thinking, there's no way are we about to lose this game. Johnny Cueto talked about it, and he went out there and walked it. He pitched a great game. Just didn't get any run support from a team that struggled offensively. That's what you're going up against in Chicago. It's just the pressure of them hanging on to every pitch, every situation. I do know the postseason is about that, but in Chicago, it's magnified even more.
Who's going to the World Series?
I do have them going. I really do. My World Series is, Cubs, Red Sox, but my Red Sox situation ain't looking too bright right now. It's not.
No.
But that's what happens, Dan. You know what? Real quick. You know what the Indians remind me of? They remind me of the '08 Tampa Bay Rays. Grinding, grit, no superstars. You have a few that's up and coming. We had Evan Longoria at third base, was our budding superstar. You have Francisco Lindor. If you don't knock them out, and you heard Hanley talk about book your tickets back to Cleveland, well, you better book some runs, and you better book them fast against Josh Tomlin, or it's going to be a wrap.
Cliff, good to talk to you. Enjoy the rest of the postseason. Thanks for joining us.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.